Alex was perched on the rooftop as usual. He watched the moon hang in the dark sky. Suddenly, the spot where he sat collapsed. He fell straight into Julian's private pool. Then he tumbled right into Julian's arms. Julian mused that since he had been delivered, he should stay. Alex thought a man could be broken but not bent. Ethan told him to get some sleep. He would take the second half of the watch. Alex agreed and said he would go first. He finished the last bite of food in his bowl. He strolled towards the spa building. Alex expertly leaped onto the glass roof. He settled into his regular observation spot. It was almost time for Julian to take his evening swim. Sure enough, a familiar figure appeared below. Julian was still remarkably handsome. He was wealthy, powerful, and in charge. Normally, such a man would be a universal fantasy. But rumors painted Julian as ruthless and unpredictable. Everyone seemed to be afraid of him. Alex heard a faint rustling sound to his right. The Vance estate's security was nearly impenetrable. An intruder was highly unlikely. Still, he rose to investigate just in case. He took a few steps and his foot found only air. He lost his balance completely. He fell through the newly formed hole. He silently cursed his luck. When had the roof become so fragile? He braced for impact. With a loud splash, he hit the water. Alex struggled to his feet. He wiped the chlorinated water from his face. The sight before him made him freeze. It was a vision of a beautiful man bathing. He covered his eyes with his hands in a useless gesture. He left a small gap between his fingers. He reported that he did not mean to intrude. The roof had unexpectedly given way. Julian acknowledged his statement. He beckoned Alex to come closer. He asked how Alex could see anything from that distance. Alex's face burned with sudden heat. Peeking was one thing. Being caught was something else entirely, especially when the man was your direct superior. Alex quickly replied that he could see perfectly fine. He insisted he would stay where he was. Julian hummed softly and repeated his command. He told Alex to come over. He claimed that he was the one who could not see clearly. Hearing this, Alex had no choice. He moved slowly in Julian's direction. Rose petals floating on the water stirred in his wake. If the man opposite him wasn't Julian Vance, he would admire the scene. It was incredibly romantic. But right now, Alex was preoccupied. He wondered how the volatile man would punish him. Damaging the estate roof was a new offense. He was now less than a foot from Julian. His voice trembled as he begged for his life. He clasped his hands together in supplication. Julian questioned why he would want to harm Alex. It was just a broken roof panel. He reached out and pulled Alex toward him. Alex stumbled, losing his footing again. His entire body fell against Julian's chest. Startled, he flailed in the water. His hands found a point of support to keep from sinking. He stabilized himself and realized their position. It was intensely intimate. His hands were braced against Julian's chest. He was straddling Julian's lap. Julian's arm was wrapped securely around his waist. He looked up. A face that perfectly matched his tastes was inches away. If he moved up slightly, their lips would meet. He stared at those lips, a flicker of desire igniting within him. Alex told himself to be calm. This was his boss, not some hired escort. If he dared to kiss him now, he would be fired. He suppressed his unruly thoughts. He tried to stand up. The arm around his waist held him firmly in place. He was trapped in their current pose. He lowered his head and spoke softly. He explained Julian's arm on his waist prevented him from standing. Julian's voice was a low murmur near his ear. He asked what Alex was saying. He pretended he could not hear him. Alex felt as if he was speaking directly into his ear. He felt this was a test of his self-control. Felt like Julian was deliberately seducing him. He took a deep breath to calm himself. He stated that he would fix the roof tomorrow. Julian reached out and hooked a finger under his mask. He pulled the black cloth from Alex's face. His index finger traced a line from his nose to his lips. The words Alex was about to say died. His mouth remained slightly open. His mind went completely blank. He stared wide-eyed at the man before him. Julian said that liars had to be punished. Alex stammered, asking what kind of punishment. Julian chuckled softly. He wondered aloud about the proper penalty for a liar. A liar who had thrown himself into his arms. Alex suggested a month's pay reduction. Julian deemed that too light. Alex quietly offered 2 months, knowing he would be broke. Julian leaned in close, his lips brushing Alex's ear. He suggested that Alex could simply give in to him. The words sent a jolt through Alex. His head shot back, hitting Julian's chin. Julian said he was only teasing. He had seen how startled Alex was. He had already spoken with Ethan. He was reassigning Alex to his personal staff. He gently ruffled Alex's hair. He would no longer need to return to the security barracks. He would now serve as Julian's personal aide. Alex could only nod, still dazed. That night, the wind howled outside. The bedroom was lit by only 2 faint candles. Alex lay on the soft bed with his eyes shut. He didn't dare to move. No one had mentioned the aide would share a room with Julian. The beds were not shared, and a curtain provided some privacy. But they were in the same large suite. A simple turn would bring them into each other's view. After some time, Alex quietly turned over. He faced toward Julian's bed. He opened his eyes. He could see a blurry silhouette through the sheer curtain. Drowsiness finally overtook him. He drifted into sleep. Shortly after, the figure on the other bed smiled. The next day, Alex was awakened by voices. He saw the sun was already high in the sky. He got up in a hurry. He pulled back the curtain and quickly got ready. He went to find Julian. He knew Julian would be in the strategy room. He would be meeting with his top advisors. One of them insisted Julian must not go to Linden Creek. The company was facing internal and external threats. The young heir, Leo, needed Julian in the capital. The advisor offered to go himself. He said an old man like him could die for the cause. Another warned the Linden Creek outbreak was man-made. It was a trap set by Marcus Thorne's faction. If Julian went, he would be walking into their trap. His potential demise would hand victory to Thorne. Julian sat at the head of the table. His brow was furrowed in thought. His fingers tapped an irregular rhythm on the polished wood. He stated that the discussion was over. His decision would not change. He had to go to Linden Creek. Only he could resolve the crisis quickly. He entrusted the capital to their care. He reminded them that Leo was no longer a child. They could consult with him on important matters. They had all mentored him since he was young. Some of the advisors still wanted to protest. Julian waved a hand for them to leave. When the last one had gone, Alex stepped out. He came from behind a decorative screen. He stood beside Julian. He asked if they were leaving in a few days. Julian paused, his massaging hands on his temples. He sounded tired when he answered. He told Alex to stay behind. He was taking Ethan. The place was too dangerous. Hearing this, Alex felt a strange pang of disappointment. While hiding, he had listened to them discuss Linden Creek. Fragmented images had flashed through his mind. He felt as if he had lived there before. He did not know why he couldn't remember anything. He once asked Ethan about his forgotten past. Ethan had told him he was severely injured on a mission. It happened 3 years ago. He had lost his memory after waking up. Ethan had told him not to overthink it. He asked his other colleagues in security. They all gave him the same story. Their consistency was suspicious. He always felt they were hiding something from him. But in recent years, he found no clues. So he had let the matter rest. A month later, guards at the city gate stopped them. They asked for their purpose and identification. Miles produced a letter from his bag. He explained he was a traveling doctor. This was a letter of introduction from a renowned physician. He indicated Alex was his assistant. The guard took the letter and confirmed its authenticity. He then allowed them to enter the city. Alex had left on his own 3 days after Julian. He bought a horse and traveled alone. He learned Linden Creek had been sealed for half a month. No one was allowed in or out except for special cases. He was wondering how to get in. Then he ran into Miles, who was also heading there. Miles was his only friend outside of the Vance estate. Miles handed him a cloth with an unpleasant smell. He told Alex to cover his nose and mouth. The cloth was treated with medicine. He reminded Alex of their deal. He would get him in, but he had to keep him safe. Alex agreed not to wander off. He tied the mask and followed Miles into the quarantine zone. Inside, pale figures lay on makeshift cots. The less severe cases were placed in the courtyard. Luckily, it was summer. The nights were not too cold. The area seemed to be a wealthy family's remote villa. Only one person could compel such a donation. A man in a medical coat ran out of a building. His eyes were bloodshot. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. He called Miles his mentor. He handed over a file of medical records. The mild cases had a persistent low fever. The severe ones suffered convulsions and foaming at the mouth. He had been adjusting the prescriptions constantly, but he could only prevent their conditions from worsening. Miles frowned. He had briefly observed the patients on his way in. He asked if they considered it was poisoning, not a plague. The doctor sighed. They had suspected it. Julian's team had checked all the wells and homes. They had found nothing unusual. The investigation had been thorough. Miles said he would check the critical patients first. He pointed at Alex. He told his junior to take Alex to the pharmacy. He was to give him some simple tasks. He was not to let him wander. Then Miles walked into the building with his medical bag. Alex and the young doctor were left standing there. The doctor instructed him to watch the medicine brew. He told Alex not to run off. He left, saying to ask the old man with white hair for help. Alex promised he would not cause any trouble. For the next 2 days, his only job was to brew herbs. Miles was too busy to check on him. Even the old supervising doctor was called away. Someone else had apparently been infected. Before leaving, he asked Alex to brew a specific dose. He was to deliver it to the southernmost room. Alex finished brewing the medicine. He carried the bowl toward the designated room. He saw the old doctor waiting anxiously at the door. He quickened his pace. He stopped abruptly at the threshold. The bowl of medicine nearly slipped from his hands. He hoped the person inside wasn't Julian. The guards at the door wore Vance security emblems. The doctor urged him to go inside quickly. He pulled Alex toward the room. Alex resisted, pulling back. He begged the doctor to deliver it himself. He claimed he had more brewing to do. He didn't want to die so soon. He wondered if Julian knew he had disobeyed orders. Walking in now was like a death sentence. A familiar, weak voice came from inside. Julian's voice was hoarse but filled with chilling authority. It made Alex's skin crawl on this warm evening. The doctor gave him a disapproving look. Alex could only smile apologetically. He knew the doctor was trying to help him. He wanted him to make a good impression. He just didn't know Alex already worked for Julian. Julian's voice came again, followed by a cough. He ordered Alex to come in. Resigned, Alex closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He turned and stepped into the room. Inside, Julian was leaning against the wall. His eyes were closed, his face pale. His lips were cracked and dry. Miles and a group of doctors stood by the bed. Ethan stood nearby, signaling to Alex. Alex lowered his head and moved forward slowly. He secretly glanced at Julian's expression. He saw no obvious anger. Julian was just frowning deeply. Alex silently reassured himself. His crime was probably not punishable by death. He reached the bedside and immediately knelt. His movement was decisive and without hesitation. The doctors around him were startled. The old doctor almost dropped the medicine bowl. Alex confessed he should not have run away. He should not have come to Linden Creek without orders. He kept his head down, feigning deep remorse. Julian remained silent for a long time. Alex cautiously raised his head to assess the situation. His eyes met Julian's. There was an unreadable emotion in his gaze. Julian told him to get up. The floor was cold. He closed his eyes again, his frown deepening. Suddenly, Julian coughed violently. He clutched his chest with one hand. He supported himself with the other. A stream of dark blood spewed from his mouth. Ethan anxiously asked what was happening. Miles checked Julian's pulse. He said it was nothing serious. Stress had caused blood to stagnate in his system. The outburst had expelled it. Alex breathed a sigh of relief. He was glad he hadn't angered Julian to death. That would have cost him more than his life. The company's executives would have torn him apart. Miles advised rest and daily medication. Someone needed to be with him at all times. He looked at Alex with a questioning gaze. Alex tried to signal for help with his eyes. He wanted Miles to get him out of there. He needed to escape while Julian was weak. He did not want to wait for Julian to recover and punish him. Julian spoke, his voice still weak. He told Alex to stay. He gave Ethan a token. He instructed him to continue the investigation. He was to take most of the security detail with him. Ethan took the token, glanced at Alex, and left. Alex felt a sense of betrayal. The others were dismissed. He stood pressed against the wall, not daring to move. He watched everyone leave until they were alone. He held his breath. Julian gestured for him to come closer. He told him to sit on the edge of the bed. Julian reassured him there was no need to be afraid. The outbreak was confirmed to be a deliberate poisoning. Ethan was already tracking the culprit. Alex hesitantly moved to the bed and sat down. He asked if they had any suspects. Julian nodded. Alex then asked how long it would take to catch them. Julian did not know. They were still gathering evidence. Alex then questioned if Julian had been poisoned on purpose. Julian confirmed it was part of the plan. He then turned the questions back on Alex. He noted that Alex had many questions for him. A small smile played on Julian's lips. He told Alex not to run away by himself again. He had been very worried. Alex asked one last question. He wanted to know if they had met before. He specified before the past 3 years. He watched Julian's expression closely. Julian opened his eyes and looked at him deeply. He said Alex would know in the future. He was tired now. He told Alex to rest as well. After helping Julian settle down, Alex lay on the nearby bed. He couldn't fall asleep. Julian's words suggested they did know each other before. He said he would know in the future. That meant the time was not yet right. What could it be? He was getting frustrated. He had not recovered any memories in Linden Creek. 3 days later, Ethan rushed in. He announced they had found the evidence. But the suspect was at Marcus Thorne's estate. Thorne had just sent an invitation for Julian to visit. Ethan handed the invitation to Julian. He strongly advised against going. It was clearly a trap. Julian glanced at the invitation and handed it to Alex. He said they would proceed as planned. Alex held the invitation. He said he would go with Julian. It would be safer with him there. Julian told him to stay behind. The situation was too unpredictable. He wasn't familiar with Linden Creek. He could not protect him properly. Alex insisted on going. He mentioned he had some combat skills. He might be useful in a critical moment. Most importantly, no one at the Thorne estate had seen him before. They wouldn't know his background. Julian told him to be obedient. He reached out and straightened Alex's messy hair. Alex looked at him with determination. He said if he wasn't allowed to go, he would go alone. He asked which option was safer. That evening, Alex sat beside Julian. Across from them sat several unfamiliar men. The one at the head was likely Marcus Thorne. Alex leaned close to Julian's ear. He whispered that he would cover his escape if there was danger. Julian wrapped an arm around his waist. He pulled Alex into his embrace. He reassured him quietly. He believed nothing would happen that night. They were not at a point of no return. Thorne raised his glass. He proposed a private conversation with Julian. Julian looked up at him. He stated they had nothing to discuss. He said Thorne must know the purpose of his visit. Thorne laughed loudly and drained his glass. He ordered his men to bring in the person Julian wanted. A man was dragged in from outside. Alex stared at the face. It matched the one in the intelligence file perfectly. Rage burned within him. It was the city manager, Ron Gibbs. He had risked the lives of his people. He did it to show loyalty to the Thorne family. Alex had heard residents praise him in the quarantine zone. They called him a good official. It was a ridiculous irony. The man they trusted most was the cause of their suffering. Julian ordered his men to take him away. He took Alex's hand and they walked out. As they passed Gibbs, the man stared at Alex. He muttered that it was him. Alex heard his voice and spun around. He wanted to ask what he meant, but Gibbs was already being dragged away. The moment they stepped out of the estate, a whistle blew. A wave of armed men emerged from the shadows. They surrounded the Thorne estate. The sounds of fighting erupted from within. Julian said it was time to return to the capital. An agent's voice came from outside the car. He reported Thorne had escaped. All evidence was destroyed. A single letter was left in his study. The agent passed the letter through the window. It was addressed to Julian. Julian opened it. His expression changed for a fleeting moment. Then his usual composure returned. Alex asked what the letter said. Julian replied it was nothing important. He folded the letter and put it back in the envelope. He handed it to Ethan and told him to burn it. Ethan acknowledged the order. He used a lighter to set the letter ablaze. The flame quickly consumed the paper. Half a month later, Alex sat in the car. He pulled back the curtain. The familiar cityscape came into view. He felt a surge of excitement. He was finally back in the capital. He wanted to eat all his favorite foods. Cheesecake from the south side, duck from the north, steak from the west. Julian's voice pulled him from his thoughts. He told Alex he would accompany him to a gala that evening. Alex's heart sank. His culinary tour would have to wait. He replied with a simple okay. He asked if they were taking a small team of security. Julian asked why they would do that. Alex explained earnestly. The trees outside the gala venue were always crowded. Every VIP brought their own security detail. It was always a tight squeeze for them up there. Julian looked at him like he was a fool. He gently reminded Alex of his new role. He was no longer a field operative. Alex smiled sheepishly, his eyes darting around. He admitted he had forgotten. He had been under too much stress recently. Now that things were calmer, the memory of the pool returned. He felt his face flush again. Words tumbled out of his mouth without thought. He asked if Julian promoted him for harassment purposes. Alex immediately regretted his question. His own mouth was going to get him killed. Julian put down the file he was reading. He smiled and tilted Alex's chin up. He examined his face from side to side. He remarked that Alex was becoming more handsome. He told him to think whatever he wanted. Alex stared into his charming eyes. His heart was pounding furiously. Felt like it might leap out of his chest. This was pure temptation. Alex knew he had to change the subject quickly. He stammered, asking about Ethan's whereabouts. Julian released his chin. He gave him a light tap on the head. He said Alex would find out that night. He instructed him to protect himself at the gala. It was going to be a difficult night. Alex asked what was happening. Julian revealed that Leo, the heir, was under house arrest. Alex gasped, covering his mouth to stifle a scream. He whispered, asking what Julian planned to do. He asked if it was a coup. Julian said it was something like that. He patted Alex's head. He promised everything would end that night. Afterwards, he would arrange a coming-of-age ceremony for Alex. He said Alex was growing up. He would tell him everything he wanted to know. Alex stared at him, unsure what to say. He only managed a quiet okay. A sense of unease grew within him. He felt something unexpected would happen tonight. At the gala, Senator Thorne raised her glass. She offered a toast to Julian. Julian lifted his own glass with a smile. He thanked her. He then inquired why the heir, Leo, had not arrived yet. She claimed Leo was ill and resting. She then asked if Julian had considered her proposal. Julian drained his glass in one gulp. He set it down and smiled. He said he had forgotten what proposal she meant. The senator slammed her glass on the table. She accused him of insolence. She declared that he was not all-powerful in the capital. Half of the executives present knelt on the floor. The great hall fell into a sudden silence. Julian sneered, toying with his empty glass. Alex felt his anxiety spike. Julian seemed to sense his unease. He reached a hand under the table. He gently took Alex's hand, which was clenched tightly. 3 bird calls sounded from outside. Alex's blood ran cold. He looked at Julian in alarm. It was a mission code for failure. It also signaled extreme danger. He wondered why Ethan hadn't returned. An aide emerged from behind the main stage. He handed the senator a note. She read it and shot to her feet. She accused Julian of sending assassins to murder Leo. She ordered his immediate arrest. A large contingent of federal guards entered the hall. They rushed directly toward Julian. Alex instinctively stood up. He moved to shield Julian. He reached for the knife usually strapped to his leg. He remembered their weapons had been confiscated. He cursed inwardly. Julian slowly rose to his feet. He pulled Alex behind him. He told him not to worry. He then produced a document from his sleeve. He announced loudly that Senator Thorne was a traitor. She had conspired to murder the legitimate heir. He ordered her arrest. The senator stared at the document in Julian's hand. She gritted her teeth in fury. She admitted she had underestimated them. But a piece of paper was useless. Leo was already dead. Her goal was achieved. She began to laugh hysterically. Tears streamed down her face as she laughed. She said she had wanted to bring him down with her. But her son had left him a final directive. She hated it. But the thought of him being trapped by duty was satisfying. She hated everyone with Julian's family name. They all shared the same disgusting blood. She had been in love with someone else. Julian's older brother had her lover secretly killed. He had forced her into marriage for her family's power. After the wedding, he ignored her. He had essentially imprisoned her. Her family's pressure forced her to bear a son. She hated her son's face because it resembled his father's. She then revealed a shocking secret. Julian's mother was killed by his beloved older brother. She called it the beautiful irony of powerful families. He killed your mother, yet you protect his legacy. A weak voice asked if she truly hated him so much. Ethan entered, supporting a pale Leo. The senator collapsed into her chair. She screamed, asking why he wasn't dead. Leo let go of Ethan's arm. He walked slowly toward his mother. He looked at her with profound sadness. He closed his eyes and whispered the order to take her away. Then his strength failed him. He leaned heavily on a nearby table. Julian rushed to his side and helped him stand. He told Leo he had done well. Leo said the rest was up to him. Julian told him to be careful. An arrow shot through a window from outside. Julian shoved Leo out of the way. He kicked over a heavy table to block the projectile. The arrow stopped just short of piercing the thick wood. Alex saw the threat a split second too late. He yelled for Julian to get down. The table had obscured Julian's view. He didn't see the second arrow. It followed the first one almost instantly. Ethan was already outside pursuing the assassin. There was no time for anyone else to react. Only Alex was close enough. He ran forward. He threw himself at Julian. A sharp pain seared through his back. He felt his own tears welling up. He collapsed onto Julian. He heard his name being called repeatedly. Julian begged him to hold on and not to fall asleep. Alex tried to keep his eyes open. He had no strength left. His last conscious thought was of the medical team arriving. He remembered his mother telling him a new coat suited him. His father brought him a beautiful crystal from overseas. The lost memories started to return. He was once a carefree young man. His family was the wealthiest in Linden Creek. The border town suffered from harsh winters. But his family's wealth ensured they were always warm. His parents were liberal. They raised him to be bold and confident. When he was 16, the border fell into chaos. A mercenary army invaded. A famine made things worse. His family's status became a liability. The city manager abandoned his post and fled. The mercenaries entered the city. They looted, burned, and killed. They captured his entire family. The mercenary leader desired him for his looks. He tried to force himself on Alex. Alex resisted fiercely. The leader brought his father before him. He forced Alex to watch as he tortured him. He had his men slice pieces of flesh from his father's body. Alex remembered begging for his parents' lives. He offered himself in their place. The leader just laughed coldly. He said it was too late. That day was the most painful of his life. He watched his father die slowly before him. His father never made a sound. Before he died, he smiled. He told his precious son not to be afraid. He told him to survive. Alex sat on the floor, unable to cry. He was numb. That night, he was locked in a storage room. He doesn't remember what happened for several days. He only remembers his father's dying image. It haunted him whenever he closed his eyes. After some time, he heard the sounds of battle outside. He had no energy left to care. The door to his room was thrown open. A man yelled that there was a survivor. That man was Ethan. Alex forced himself to look up. A man in a fine fur coat stood in the doorway. He looked elegant amidst the chaos of war. His face was the most handsome Alex had ever seen. He seemed noble and powerful. Instinctively, Alex tried to reach for him, but his strength gave out. He fainted. He woke up in the city manager's residence. Ethan saw him awake and rushed out. He returned shortly with his master. Ethan explained that Julian Vance had rescued him. Alex tried to sit up to thank him. He found that he could not make a sound. He had lost his voice. For the next 2 weeks, he recovered in the residence. He followed Julian everywhere. He would sit quietly while Julian worked. He clutched his clothes, afraid of being abandoned. He never knew when he fell asleep at the desk. He would always wake up in his own bed. He would find Julian's coat draped over him. This continued until a new city manager arrived. Alex listened as they discussed business. Julian was preparing to leave the next day. A strange feeling settled in Alex's heart. He was going to be left alone again. That night, he did not go to the study. He returned to his own room. As if possessed, he picked up a fruit knife. He cut open his own wrist. He watched the blood flow out. He rested his head on the table. He quietly waited to die. A single thought echoed in his mind. He was going to be alone again. He did not want to be alone in this world. What happened next was predictable. Julian must have found him in time. When he woke up, his memory was gone. 3 days had passed in the Vance Estate's medical wing. Julian asked the doctor why Alex was still not awake. The doctor assured him that Alex's body was healing well. Waking up was only a matter of time. Julian dismissed everyone from the room. He wanted to be alone with Alex. He moistened Alex's dry lips with water. He held his hand tightly. He begged Alex to wake up. He promised he would never be alone again. He confessed he had liked him from the first moment. He regretted not being more obvious about his feelings. He described the horror of finding him bleeding. He had been terrified of losing him too. He revealed he had no other family. He was not born of royal blood. His mother had an affair. The old king had his mother secretly executed. His older brother, the late king, saved his life. Before dying, his brother entrusted him with his only son, Leo. Now Leo was ready to rule. He told Alex he truly had no one else left. He pleaded for him to wake up. He promised to resign from his position. They could find a place Alex loved and settle down. Or they could travel the world together. Listening to Julian's voice, Alex felt tears stream down his cheeks. He wanted to open his eyes. He wanted to tell him he was there, but he was powerless. He could only listen to Julian's daily monologues. After what felt like an eternity, he felt he could move. He twitched a finger. He felt it touch the hand holding his. Julian, who had been dozing, woke instantly. He called Alex's name, his voice hoarse with emotion. Alex opened his eyes and managed a faint smile. He tried to speak but found he was mute again. He looked at Julian helplessly. Julian seemed to understand. He hugged him tightly. He said it was okay, as long as he was awake. He rushed off to get paper and a pen. Alex watched him go and smiled. He took the writing tools. He carefully wrote 2 words on the paper. Julian. He blew on the ink to dry it. He handed the paper to Julian. Julian took the pen and wrote beside his name, Alex. Ethan burst in with urgent news from the capital. He was thrilled to see Alex awake. Alex was happy to see him too. He nodded eagerly. Ethan noticed his inability to speak. He asked if his memories had returned. Alex nodded again. He wrote on the paper asking what was wrong. Ethan glanced nervously at Julian. He explained Thorne had allied with a rival nation. They had launched an attack. Linden Creek and 7 other cities had fallen. Leo had summoned Julian. He was likely to lead the counterattack personally. He had to leave that night. Julian gently stroked Alex's hair. He told him not to worry. He forbade him from asking to come along. He needed to stay and recover. He promised to return victorious. Alex stared at him and nodded. He knew his current condition would only be a distraction. Still, he clutched Julian's coat tightly. Julian turned back. He kissed his forehead. He took off his coat and draped it over Alex. He whispered in his ear. He had promised not to abandon him. He never broke his promises to Alex. Alex held the coat tightly. He watched Julian's figure disappear. 3 months later, a messenger brought good news. Julian's army was victorious. They were only 3 days away from the capital. Alex clutched the victory report. He traced the familiar handwriting on the page. A familiar voice spoke from behind him. He smiled to himself. He was missing him so much he was hearing things. The voice asked if he had forgotten its sound already. Alex turned around. The face he had longed for was right there. He ran and threw himself into his arms. Tears of joy fell from his eyes. He found he could speak again. He said Julian's name. He looked up at the face he fell in love with. He said his name one more time. That winter, in a small house in Linden Creek, Alex had just woken up. He saw snow falling outside the window. A thick blanket already covered the ground. It was the first snow of the year. He jumped out of bed excitedly. He dragged Julian outside to build a snowman. He got tired halfway through. He left Julian to finish the work. He sat by the window, warming himself by the fire. He sipped tea that had just arrived from the capital. He watched the figure busy in the snow. He smiled, feeling perfectly happy. After a few cups, he saw the snowman was taking shape. He ran outside happily. He playfully asked who was more handsome, him or the snowman. He warned him to answer correctly. He raised a fist in mock threat. Julian hugged him from behind. He smiled and said Alex was more beautiful. He said a new accessory would make him even more so. A delicate pin was placed in his hair. Julian said he was finally making up for his missed gift.